Crunch the numbers, and Eddie Wu is officially our favourite teacher. Taking maths to the masses, the educator has presented to sell-out crowds and has racked up over 38 million views on his WooTube channel.
I love that maths helps us understand and wonder at the world around us in a deeper way than we could otherwise. It's really about taking what I love and just saying, you know what, if we put that on a platform that can access the world, there's no limit to what we can achieve.
Now, the Australian local hero is sharing his love for the subject once again with a hands-on activity book, getting kids thinking about the magical world of maths while also having a bit of fun.
And Eddie Wu joins us live in the studio. Hi, Eddie, or should I say, Arise Lord Wu, because you had a brush with royalty recently.
Oh, I did. So it's the 60th anniversary this year of the Duke of Edinburgh Wars here in Australia. And I remember when I was at school, you know, people would go on hikes and they would go bronze, silver, gold.
Yes.
So it was really wonderful. The Earl of Wessex, Prince Edward, he came to Sydney just a little while ago to award some gold recipients. Pretty
That's
special.
great.
That's unreal.
Good guy?
Lovely, and just personable, super professional about getting around to like 300 people who he had to give awards to, but also, yeah, an incredible man.
Well, he's not the only incredible man. You're pretty good at yourself. Maths, of course, is a bit of a tricky subject, but you kind of like to make your equations relatable. So I saw before on the graphics you had a thing about apple pie and beef. And is it important to make maths, I guess, in a way, easier to understand?
I think one of the things that makes mathematics so challenging is that it can be very abstract.
Yeah.
What are all these X's and Y's? What do they stand for? What do they mean? And so I think, you know, apple pie is beef. That was me describing probability of getting a meal and understanding a context that connects it to you. It's so important for kids and for adults.
Yeah, and your passion for this knows no bounds. You really have a passion for taking this to regional Australia as well. Why is that?
For me, one of the things that I think is hardest is when you've got an area that doesn't necessarily have the access to resources. A lot of these places with drought or with automation, they're not seeing the same kind of economic benefits as they used to. And so kids in these areas, it's no fault of their own. It's not like they're any less smart than kids in metro areas, but it's so wonderful to be able to take out to them a message of positivity, be able to embrace something like science or mathematics and help them see they're just as valuable as kids in other areas, help them get excited too.
Well, you've got a new book, right? This book's called Eddie Wu's Magical Maths. What can we expect from this one?
It's a very practical book. Last year I released my first book and it was really aimed at, I'm a high school teacher, adolescents and above, and so many people said to me, parents mostly, how old does my kid need to be able to read your book? And I'd say older than that. And so it's taken us a year to put together this. It's very practical, hands-on activities that can help kids and also their parents embrace mathematics and see the joy in it.
Yeah, right. Even Sal, we got involved, didn't we, Sal? We did one of your activities from the book. This is the most craft Sally's done since her finger painting, you know, in grade 4. But we made some snowflakes.
Yes. Brilliant.
There you go. Now, so why are these a good example of maths?
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, what I put these into the book about is symmetry. Symmetry is when you can change a shape, like spin it around or flip it over, and it ends up looking the same. Every snowflake in nature, a tiny microscopic level, has this kind of symmetry. That's a nice one.
That's Sally's.
Okay,
hers was
sorry.
more fancy,
I didn't want to call you out on it, Ryan, but Sally's looks better.
I was invested. I was into it.
Teacher's pet
So
over here.
you've got this wonderful geometric, mathematical idea. It's been sitting under our nose our entire lives. What I want people to be is aware and sort of appreciating where mathematics is around them.
That's great.
Yeah. Now, Year 12 students, obviously at the moment, this is test time, right? This is some of the most stressful times of the year for them. What's your advice to kids out there that are about to sit down and do some of these exams?
Well, they're going to get lots of pretty typical tips. Do your homework, revise, all that kind of thing. Those are all great ideas. My big secret, it's not really a secret, but when I started becoming a teacher, and explaining maths to other people, that's when, number one, it really started to dawn on me how much I didn't know and I had to learn. And number two, I started to connect the dots. I couldn't just solve a question. I could explain the links between all the steps to other people. That's where I deepened my understanding, and I encourage any student preparing for their final exams, say that maths to someone else. Explain just a single problem. Do that once rather than 50 simple problems, and that'll really deepen your understanding.
Okay.
I'll quiz you later. You can explain to me how it all works. Thanks, Eddie.
My pleasure.
And you can try out some of Eddie's fun maths activities in his new book, Eddie Wu's Magical Maths. It's out now.